Michael McIntyre left me a comment that says, from trailer trash to jet airplanes. I think they meant to say trailer park to jet airplanes. I think trailer trash is an American expression that refers to people who live in trailer parks, something like that. If you're an American, leave your comment in the comment section, but I think that's what it is. Not sure it's a nice thing to say to someone, but the sentiment is correct. I mean, if you think that's an extreme statement, actually that is something that has happened. It's not too uncommon in the story of crypto in the last few years that someone has moved from being pretty much homeless to then having yachts and expensive cars, etc., because they bet on the correct tokens. Do you guys remember the Dogecoin millionaire? Well, he would be the Dogecoin billionaire now if he had, pressed the correct buttons, if he had sold at all-time high. Instead, he believed too hard and he hodled a meme. And then, of course, he lost most of it. But to his praise and to his credit, he didn't actually sell. He rode out the bear market. I think he went back to the job market, worked in McDonald's, whatever it is he was working in. And now he's back to being a millionaire again. And with the experience that he had in the last season, one would expect him to do better this time. And that's the thing. A lot of people have been in the game quite a while now. They've experienced at least one cycle. Some of us have experienced 3 cycles, and with each cycle, we'll learn something new. And that experience is carried forward to the current cycle. Now, talking about the current cycle, the governments of Europe, probably in the United States, are scrambling to get in your way, right? Now, there is a European legislation that is coming out very, very soon. It's quite imminent. And it's a money laundering and sort of financial protection law. However, embedded within it are lots of laws concerning cryptocurrencies. By the way, I've got my iPad today because I'm going to be reading something verbatim. I can't memorize that much stuff and I want to get the actual details correct. So this law is coming out very soon. And before it comes out, Ireland, that is the Republic of Ireland, not to be confused with Northern Ireland as part of the UK. So the Republic of Ireland, that are their own separate country and they're still part of the EU, which means they are affected by the EU laws, right, directly. They are scrambling to get out a crypto-specific law. And this law basically is aimed at crypto exchanges. So they've got laws already that regulate banks to get in your way when you try to make a deposit from NatWest or Santander or Bank of America, whatever, into Coinbase, Binance. They do the whole sort of limits, what class are you in, are you allowed to buy this stuff, yada, 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 KYC stuff. Now, this new law, again, under the guise of protecting us from money laundering and other illicit activities that I won't mention because I don't want to get the video taken down. Very, very specific cryptocurrency related laws. And they are scrambling, and they even refer to the law as urgent, which kind of showcases how important this is to them. Now, again, in the past, people have been able to, move as much money as possible with no limits into crypto and trade without limits because, again, cryptocurrencies are on all the time. The exchanges are open 24/7. People can click. No one's going to stop you. Now, there's so many barriers, KYC, geofences that have been put up to kind of prevent the movement of money. Some of it is understandable because, of course, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and blockchain, those are just tools, right? Just like cash, with every bit of technology, people have used them also for illicit activity and illegal stuff, right? But that doesn't mean that us or we that are using the system for positive things to try and free ourselves from the establishment and get some financial freedom should have to pay for the crimes of those who have used it illicitly. Also, we know, of course, that there's also a class thing going on, a control thing going on, a government thing going on that wants to get in your way of truly freeing yourself from the status quo. So while I'm not Irish and I don't live in Ireland, and this doesn't directly apply to me, I understand that things that happen with our neighboring countries here in the UK tend to seep across and become part of our legislation here. So the laws that have been drafted in the UK are probably quite similar to the stuff that's going on mainland Europe and in Ireland, right? And there's an article that I read that basically highlighted some part of the legislation that's being drafted. And there's a specific bit that quite bothers me, and I'm going to talk about that now. Let me just read the article to you. I'm going to throw it up here so you guys can see it too. Ireland drafting urgent crypto laws before EU money laundering rules. Ireland is preparing to draft new urgent cryptocurrency regulations ahead of upcoming European Union anti-money laundering and terror financing legislation. Ireland's Finance Minister Jack Chambers told the cabinet that urgent legislation would be drafted to update crypto regulations before the EU laws come into force on December 30. That's quite imminent, actually. The Irish Examiner reported on October 16th. No details were shared about the new crypto legislation or when exactly it could come into effect. The EU's Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Act, try to say that 3 times, coming in December, enhances the powers of financial intelligence units, enabling them to suspend transactions. It also requires stricter reporting requirements for crypto exchanges and imposes a €10,000 limit. €10,000 are similar to $10,000. Precisely at the moment, it's $10,850. So let's just call it $10,000 limit on each cash payment. There will be more stringent monitoring of large transactions and new reporting requirements for high value transactions. And then it talks about the legislative framework and what's expected in September, etc. Now, the important part is that €10,000 transaction limit. Now, in there, it specifies it as cash payments, right? This is when you go out, I guess, to an institution and buy stuff for cash. You want to buy a car and you pay by cash. So that's a €10,000 limit. Now, if they impose that on cash, you can imagine that that's the similar amount or even less that they're going to impose on crypto, because they consider crypto more dangerous than cash, because at least cash, you have to physically carry it around. Whereas cryptocurrencies, you can basically disappear it in your head, right? Even though it's available on the blockchain to see what the transactions are, they consider it, they keep playing it up as this illicit, underground, hidden transaction, when in fact we can all see the transactions. But I digress. The point is, they are probably going to impose a limit in the amount of transactions that you can do on a daily basis per transaction, depending on who you are, your KYC, etc. We sort of already know that. But the point I'm making is this. Now, imagine when the bull run really gets started and you're in the exchanges. If you're using centralized exchanges, a lot of people use centralized exchanges during these bull runs because they're faster, higher liquidity, and sometimes even safer, as long as you get your money out as quickly as you can and you protect yourself in that way. No financial advice, your own research. What usually happens is that €10,000, which might sound a lot to everyday people on the high street, but to people who are trading cryptocurrencies in the bull run, that's nothing, man. That could be just one transaction. Imagine being limited to one transaction a day, and then Bitcoin explodes, and then Ethereum explodes, and you want to cycle your money down and do things like that. I know that in essence, what we preach usually is to buy, hold for the big times. So what I'm saying is, having a €10,000 or less limit on transactions and cash payments limits how much you can transfer from one exchange to the other. Say you want to get 10,000 USDT from Binance to Coinbase to participate in a token that's happening. It limits you. You can't, you can't do 20,000, you can't do 30,000. And when the bull run gets going, these are the little things, little hurdles that they're going to put in your way. 24-hour delays while somebody looks at your transaction and verifies them, and all these things that we're already seeing, by the way. It's already happened on crypto.com. It's already happened on some of the other exchanges where an extra pair of eyeballs needs to come in and okay your transactions, which goes completely against the whole concept of cryptocurrencies. So what we can do about this, of course, is to familiarize ourselves with decentralized options, right? DeFi, decentralized trading, decentralized platforms, how to custody your own crypto, how to trade, how to use swaps, things like that, and not depend on these financial institutions. Of course, they're going to get to some of these as well with lawsuits and legislations and all sorts of things. We've already seen Uniswap under a little bit of an attack from the government, but there are pretty much countless options. Of course, these are a lot more dangerous because some of them are rug pulls, scams, hackers, etc., which is where your responsibility comes in. With much freedom comes much responsibilities. I know that's not what it really says, but you know, freedom is power. So power, responsibility, yeah, it still works. So not financial advice, do your own research, but this may be the time, if you don't know how DeFi works, to really get in there and learn how to use DEXs, learn how to use self-custody wallets, learn how to use cold wallets, learn what a key is, learn what a key phrase is, etc. Just so that you can protect yourself and not miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Not financial advice, do your own research. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.